Hey guys, Jeremy here at My Way MFG. Getting back to work on the Eliza 44 wing vent assemblies today. And we're going to do a few other things in this video as well. I kind of test fitted all that, kind of think I got an idea of what's going on. Kind of feeling like maybe it's going to go all right, but you know what they say, right when you think everything's going good, you've obviously overlooked something. And that's kind of how I feel about all of this. We're just going to have to see what happens in the end, A learning experience, I guess. Anyway, let's get started here. Back over here today, I got this painted wing vent unmasked. I'm not a master masker, but it don't look too bad. Anyway, seems to me that post down through that hole, temporarily stick that rivet in there, temporarily put the glass into it, and if that division bar was going up into the cavity in that rubber and everything fit, then it's probably just a bad location on that rivet hole. If I've got to move that division bar out of that pocket in that rubber to get it to fit, then the whole thing's wrong. So let's do a little trial fitting here and see what we end up with. Looks like this could be a tight fit getting this pushed through here. What's going on with this gap here? It's like that frame needs to come way up. I've got this latched here. If I roll this up, that should go in that pivot right here, or that little divot. I mean, that barely clears. I could probably adjust that to where that works, I think I could. All right, this is all pretty good news, I think. The big problem I was worried about was that formed right. Did it need cut or changed or something? It seems it's just a rivet hole that's been misplaced. If you look down here, by the time this seal is on, trying to hold too many things here all at once. I can't. Oh gosh. You gotta find a place to put this flashlight. Let me just set this on a stand. I need one more hand here. Haven't just done that. I've done a terrible job editing that last video. All them times where I'm standing around scratching my head and trying to figure out what in the hell I'm doing. I always edit that stuff out and just show you guys the good stuff, I forgot to do that in that last video, and I'm running around there and forgot to put the music on. And anyway, needed 3 hands to hold this flashlight. But as I look here, if this seal was on right here, which comes with the door kit seals, it would be right up against the weather strip here at the bottom. So I'm assuming that's probably pretty close to where that needs to be. And then there's a pocket on the end of this wing vent seal where this division bar sets up into. And when that rivet hole was in the wrong place, I worried that was too. Like it needed to go back further. That all fits real good. I think I'm gonna put the cardboard back in this door and put the window in here too, just so I know for sure. So I think all that's okay other than drilling a new rivet hole in that rubber. And then the rivet they sent for this won't go through. I'm gonna have to take a drill bit and increase that out 1 hole size, I'm thinking. That should be positioned pretty close. It might actually go back a little with the right size rivet in it. Just a fraction of an inch. But the problem I do see here right now is something different, is I don't know if that shows up or not. I've got a significant gap right up here in between my wing vent frame and the rubber. And not only that, it's bent out this way. And this is original, and so is this. And so is this. So I know all that used to fit. And what I'm thinking at the present moment is up at the glass shop, when I took them this, it still had the glass in it. And I'm thinking when they pulled the glass out, it just sprung that a little bit. I think I just need to bend it up and in, and then see if I can get my glass test fitted in there. I'm gonna stick the glass in once right now, and then try it again, I think after bending it. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, this isn't fitting very good at the top. I wanted to hold it up against this one and see if it looked like it was sprung. Yeah, they look exactly the same. And if I measure between this point and this point, I got 10 5/8 inches on each of them. So I'm going to say this is not bent or anything. So it's got to be in the way this rubber seal's made on top. Seems to me it's the only other thing it could be. I was messing with this. I didn't have the garnish molding screwed on, and it pushed in on me, and when I did, I lost my rubber seal. I had to pull it back out. You know, you got to tuck it around there. And so now I'm going to test fit everything again with the garnish molding screwed on. Now my rubber seal's back in place. See what I got, but I know there's going to be a gap up there at the top of the wing vent. Let's see what happens here. All right, guys, it took me a little thinking here, but I think I've got this figured out. You know, when I measured both of those wing vents and I came up with the same measurement, it was telling me they were both the same. We're dealing with all original parts here, so it should work, right? Now there's one thing we're missing. And what it is the friction tape that holds the glass in. By the time you get that wrapped around there and you press that glass in that frame, it's gonna stretch the frame out a little bit. We were measuring both of those with no glass in them. If I'd have had one set in there that still had the glass in it, I bet you it would have measured different. But anyway, I can kind of show you what I mean here, I think. And I had thought about just siliconing these in there, but if I did, I'd have to shim it in there somehow before I put the silicone on. So it might be easier for me just go get the friction tape. But let me show you what I got here. I've got a real good consistent gap up through here. That bar is adjustable, so I just need to get it adjusted into that position that it's in right now when I go to do it. It's sitting in the pocket up there on the rubber, so that means I can rivet the rubber in. That's all good. The gap I'm talking about is right up there between the rubber and the frame. But if you look, the glass is tight against the metal frame here, and it's tight against the metal frame down here. So if you had the friction tape wrapped around the glass, it's going to bring this up. And let me show you. As it is right now, I got such a gap there. I broke off a piece of wood shim. I can stick it inside the car. That's how big of a gap I got there. That's what was worrying me. I thought, boy, that's going to leak a lot of air. But I just drove a piece of wood shim in between the glass and the frame on the bottom. Did it again on the top to kind of mimic what the friction tape would do. We still don't have this seal down the division bar, but if we did, this up here is looking way better. And I think that other seal would take care of the rest of that. So that's the thing we were missing, was the friction tape. So I do think all that fits. I really do. I don't want to get these cut, the big windows. I was going to just go ahead and get them cut, but I'm noticing that big gap at the top. And that top to bottom height should be right, because I did start tracing off of that broken piece and just kind of mimic the rest of it, you know. So I think that is right, but I would really like to have that run channel in and check it before I get that glass cut, because if I get it cut too short, I'm screwed. But I do think I'm in a position where I can go ahead and put the wing vent assembly together. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then take the other one apart and start working on it. And then we'll get these run channels ordered for the doors. But yeah, I think I've got everything fitting now. So that's good anyway. If you're watching these videos, try to figure out how to do this. This is the first time for me doing it, and the best advice that I can give is don't take anything for granted. You need to test fit everything, every single little piece, because there is so many variables and so much going on here that one little thing is just going to throw off the whole thing. It's test fit everything. I don't see how you could possibly do this on a table or somewhere and then just put it together and have it work. It's just, it ain't gonna go like that, I don't believe. But I think I got that side pretty good. And you know, by the time we get to the other side, it should go a little easier. That's how that kind of thing generally works. At least you hope it does. But anyway, I think my next step is I probably need to go to town and get friction tape. I need to drill out that rivet hinge hole a little bit. Next size bigger rivet. That didn't fit either. And then the one rivet hole they misplaced, everything else seems fine, so I'm just going to drill that and rivet that in. That wing vent assembly at that point should be done. You know, get my spring and my nut and washers on the bottom of it. That should be done. And then I hope this one comes apart a little easier. I ended up having to heat the other one to get it apart, but I couldn't even get the wing vent to move on in. And this one at least will move. Yeah. I don't think there's any body work to do on this one. That's good. I just need to clean it. I think I'm gonna run town and get friction tape just so I can get this done, you know? Went to town, got some of this glass setting tape. I've never bought any before. Come to find out there's different thicknesses. I didn't know what to tell them. I picked like a medium thickness one, and it seems to be working pretty good. I tapped it in with a rubber mallet. That's what they told me to do. Right now I'm just trimming the excess off here. Remember I showed how that glass was right up against the frame. If you can see it now, I'm up like a 1/16 of an inch top and bottom. So I'm hoping that spreads that out enough that it contacts that top seal okay. If it doesn't, I think what I'll do is drive a wood shim here in the top in between the glass and the friction tape, or probably the friction tape and the frame, whatever works, I guess, and just bring this up a little bit. Just bring it up a little bit, and then I'll just fill the end right there with a little black caulking or something. I would rather do that than have a gap that's gonna leak air, you know. But I'm hoping now it just works. So we'll get it back together probably here tomorrow and see. It's gotta be closer. That's probably similar to how far I had them wood shims drove in earlier, and that worked. So that holds it good and tight. So anyway, this is done, I think. I'm gonna probably run a die down this bolt thread. I was hammering on that a little bit. Clean them threads up some. Just out here looking at the grass. I could just about mow. Isn't that crazy? That'd usually be covered with snow. Anyway, got that tarped off, ready to go to the landfill. I think that we're gonna go over and try to finish that driver's side wing vent garnish molding today. I was wanting to clean those threads up a little bit where I'd kind of hit that with a hammer a few times. Ended up, thread count was like 5/16, 24. And I was able to just run this on by hand. They weren't hurt too bad. But a few shavings there, but all right, I gotta figure out which direction to put the stopper back in there. It's right here. And get the spring and nut back on there. Washer. Oh, I was saying that rivet was the wrong size to go in that hole. I couldn't really get a straight shot at it with it on the car. I thought I'll try it again. Maybe I was wrong, but no, it's definitely too big. And I know that's the rivet they meant to use because there's 2 of these in the kit that come with a washer that are different than the rest of them. I'm just gonna take this step bit and go one size bigger. That should go in there, I think. I would like to take this moment to thank whoever invented the cordless drill and whoever invented the step bit. Gotta love that. I got to thinking it's getting time I need to start worrying about getting this back on. I know it gets wrapped in fabric. I don't see a reason I couldn't put it on there. Other than, I don't know how it goes on there. I could probably go back and watch one of my old videos, and I bet you on one of them, it shows me taking this off. But Richard, if you're watching this, I'm assuming there's spring clips that fit in these slots. they line up with each one of these holes. But if that is the case, if it is spring clips, and I assume it is, what do you call them? What would I order? It seems like it'd be hard to make anything. I'm probably just going to have to buy them. When I look online, all I see is like door panel clips. I think those are different, right? Yeah, anyway, if you're watching this, Richard, maybe you could tell me what I need for that. You've kind of become my go-to guy on this stuff, and I do appreciate that. I've looked at those wing vent pictures you sent me 100 times. But anyway, I need to consider getting these on here real soon. I even wondered if it might change my fitment issue a little bit with my garnish molding, you know. But anyway. Got this all back together. I put a little grease on that shaft. I still got to get tension on this nut and get a cotter key in it. Otherwise, this is done. I've got my rivet and washer dropped in this hole. I'm gonna try to use this punch, I guess. It's the biggest one I got, and it still might be a little narrow. And I've put this punch in the vise to contact the head of the rivet. Trying to hold that garnish molding up and hold the hammer and the punch, well, that would require 3 hands. You know, in that last video, I said I was thinking about modifying that C-clamp to press them rivets in. I did do that. This is what I made. I got just a little divot in the end of that flat rod, and then I ground that down into a cone. And I tested it on a rivet, and seeing how this spins, it just wanted to walk off the rivet. I thought if I had a piece on the end of that didn't spin, like a flaring tool would have a piece that would rotate there on the end, it would probably have worked. But I was trying it on just, I took the stem out of a pop rivet and was trying it, and it just kept walking off. But this rivet's big enough and has a big enough hole in it that might actually work there. I might try it real quick and just see what happens. I might put a little grease on the end of that tip just to, let's try it real quick. If it looks like it's not working, we'll stop. Yeah, kind of set up here. Let's see what happens. I don't know what to say. That spread that rivet out and worked. That would have worked a lot better if the rivet had been shorter. I got a heck of a flare out there on that. I guess maybe I should have cut the rivet off first, and then I think that would have went pretty good. But yeah, I think maybe on the next one I will just cut the rivet off shorter so it don't flare out so huge on me. But that did actually work on that, and I was able to get it done by myself. That's not going to work on the smaller ones. It just walks off of. I'm going to put a mark on this choke lever right here where it exits the dash. Let's see if I can get that off there modified a little bit and get that choke knob on maybe. This is a lever arm for the choke. Put a mark there kind of where it's flush with the dash. This is a knob I want to put on it. It's trying to put a square peg in a round hole. you know. Let's see if I can modify that a little bit and make that work. First thing I want to do is just cut it off flush on the back side of where that last hole's at, just so I can get rid of them holes. That's gonna work. Not real pretty. If a guy was wanting to make it real nice, you could probably do it with a file. Don't really have to be pretty though, does it? I get that set screw tightened up, and I think I'll put a little black paint on that. Clean it off a little. Yeah, waiting on paint to dry on the choke lever. I was thinking maybe Brian would stop by, maybe help me set those rivets in that wing vent rubber. I went to town the other day. I was missing this screw that holds the outer door handle on. In case anybody's wondering, that's a 1224, number 12 screw, 24 thread count. I had to buy a pack of them. I took the one out of the other door and took it with me so I'd know what to get. But anyway, I'm just going to put a new one in the other side too, seeing as how I got it. Door handle can't fall off now. That's good, right? That's pretty. That's the only shiny thing on the whole door. We'll get it pretty too, in due time. And hey, that looks pretty nice. You would think it was made that way, you know? It's good and solid. I think that paint needs to cure a little more, but I'm just gonna stick it in there. I wanna see what it looks like, you know? Hey, I like that. Got one more to put on there and that'll all be good. Yeah. Yeah, it looks real nice. This knob here has got to be silver though, right? Let's paint that silver. Yeah, I kept hoping somebody would show up today and help me set those other two rivets. I think I'm gonna have to do it with a hammer, and I don't think I can do it by myself. Anyway, I just been walking around here tying up some loose ends. Maybe in the morning I can get Colton to help me. Anyway, I've painted that shifter knob silver, and went ahead and done the horn button too while I had it. Well, while I had the silver paint out. I think that'll look better. And also, I put a little rubber grommet back there on the floor, and I ran that wire up for the license plate light. I just had it wrapped around the corner of the bumper. But I don't know where that's supposed to come through at, but that's where I put it. I figured it'll be right up next against the seat springs after the seat's in there, but I wanted to put it in an easy spot. I didn't want to have to fight with it, you know. After fighting with all this other stuff with this wing vent rubber and stuff, I was ready for something easy, if you know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I think I'm gonna go home for today. I might come over here and do just a little bit more tomorrow before I finish the video, but we're probably getting pretty much to the end of this video. But Maybe we can get them rivets set, maybe get these knobs back on and the horn button, see what that looks like. And if I got some help over here, maybe try to get that center windshield division bar screwed in once and for all and get the tape off the dash, you know. Anyway, going home for now, guys. Catch you tomorrow. I was back here on my Eliza shelf grabbing a few things to take over to the other garage. I was looking at all that stainless steel trim. It's all good and straight. I got to looking at the pieces. I got all of the side pieces for the car except for the little short piece that goes on the cowl on the driver's side is the only one I'm missing. And then I'm missing everything that goes on the hood up front, you know, across the bottom. But what I do have is in good shape. But there was one piece that was in that bundle, and I pulled it out of there. I'm going to take it over to the other garage and show it. I don't think it goes to this car. Maybe some of you guys might know. Just got that 2-part rivet pushed in through the bottom hole. That's the hole that was lining up. That hole was also too small. For the bigger part of the rivet, I had to take a step bit and go one size bigger. Anyway, I got a drill bit in this vise that should countersink down into the rubber and contact the top of the rivet. Colton's gonna hold that up there for me, and I'm gonna try to rivet that in there. Yeah, the reason I was back here digging around on that shelf full of Eliza parts is I wanted to get this stuff and bring it over here. These are those turn signal conversion kits from Bob Drake. Those are really nice. They come with the braided wire to mimic the original. Those are real high quality restoration parts, you know, there. And I've got the lenses that Joel sent me and new gaskets. So I think the only thing I'm missing on this is the screws. In that Bob Drake kit, it did come with instructions. That's highly unusual. The one time I don't think I need them, I've got them. But anyway, I think the next video we're gonna get this stuff all put in and see if we can get the turn signals working. I don't have the window run channels here yet. I think those window run channels, by the time I get them shipped to me, they're gonna cost me about 230 bucks, it's looking like. And then I've still got to get both pieces of glass cut, or at least one of them for now, for the driver's side. And I'm just estimating from the other glass I've had cut, they're probably gonna be about 100 bucks a piece. So I need a little over $300 to keep going on these door windows. I don't really have it this week. So I think we're gonna go and start with the turn signals and get them in. While I've got that horn button off, that horn was kind of honking at me last year during inappropriate times. So I might just go ahead and undo the wire down to bottom and pull that horn wire out of there and see if I see anything going on with that. I don't like the horn honking when I don't want it to honk. Everybody waves at me. Anyway, turn signals, horn, I think the next video. And after that, I think that maybe what I will do is start welding on this passenger side door and see if I can get it caught up to the driver's side. So we got kind of even them out on both sides, ready to finish, I guess. And the bottom of that door should be the last of the major welding. After that, it's just a small patch here and there. So after we get that door fixed, we're pretty good with all the major rust repair, I'm thinking. I was able to get Colton to come over here and help me this morning. Put a punch in the vise there. And we got those rivets set in. That bottom one, that whole location was, you know, in the right spot. And then the top one, I drilled a hole there about a ½ inch off of the original location. We're just going to see what happens there. I hope that works out. I don't know. It just seems like I got something just not quite right there, but I'm hoping it was just a bad rivet hole. I don't know. But we start getting everything fitted. Hopefully it just all works out. It's quite a thing doing that. But it's not as bad as putting on this windshield division bar. While Colton was over here, we finally got that on there once and for all. And I bet we fought it for an hour. I got it on, I didn't scratch anything. I'm very happy with that. And if I live to be 1,000,000 years old, I never want to take that damn thing back off of there. The horn button, I just got it sitting there. I think that looks pretty good silver. The shifter knob I didn't put back on yet because I kind of needed to paint around the back side where I didn't get to yesterday. But yeah, so that's where we're sitting with all that, guys. And I think the next step is to get a new tank of gas for the MIG welder and get this door fitting right and shutting right and solid, and maybe pull it off and get some paint on it, because I got everything here for that. I've got the paint, I've got Bondo, fiberglass, metal. I've got everything I need to do that. I've got everything I need to get the other garnish molding together and the wing vent in, and then both sides will be the same, and then we'll go from there, is what I'm thinking. Anyway, while I was over there digging on that shelf full of Eliza parts, I brought a piece over here that was packaged up with the stainless steel trim I had. I don't think it goes to this car. I want to show it to everybody. Maybe you can tell me if it goes on here somewhere that I'm just not thinking. Around a package deck on the interior or something. Hell, I don't know. Let me grab it. This right here, it's bent all to hell. The rest of that's in good shape. This was packaged up with the rest of my stainless steel trim. What the hell is this? I don't even think it goes to this car. It's smooth. It doesn't have any ribs in it, you know, like the rest of it does. It doesn't look savable. I don't even think it goes here. If it does, let me know where you think it goes. I just don't know. Part of a sill plate, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, while I'm bringing this up, there's another piece I don't think goes to this car. This piece they've got going down the center of the grill here. They've got it kind of wired on there with baling wire and stuff. Does that even go on a 40 Ford? When I look at pictures of them, I never see anything like that. That looks like it's off a John Deere plow or something. Does this even go here? Does anybody know? Anyway, I was wondering if maybe I couldn't straighten out just a little bit of this if it doesn't go anywhere else, and maybe polish it up and kind of get it down the center there just as a temporary deal to give her a little more bling. I don't know. Try to maybe do something right down the middle. And I'm also missing one of these. I've got the other three. I've got a new grill for this, but I don't want to put it in just yet. I kind of like how this one looks right now. If the rest of the car starts looking good enough, this starts looking out of place, and I'll put the new one in. But for right now, I'm kind of okay with that. But I would maybe cut this and try to, you know, just put it down the middle just for a little more pop, you know. I don't know. But what the hell is this? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Division bar. Got all of the hood trim. This new piece here looks pretty good. Yeah, anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Kind of got done everything I wanted to, so we're gonna catch you on the next one. I want to thank everybody for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, all those things, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later, Jeremy.